So, I've been procrastinating for way too long, but I made it back. And what I have today is basically a note-taking program, which I tried to make, but it turns out, well, ChatGPT's image of what I tried to make does not match what I imagine at all. And it's very buggy, it seems. I thought my explanation of the whole system kind of makes sense for the scope that I tried to do, but it it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Basically, what I'm trying to do is like kind of a note-taking system that has like a timeline and everything, where you can swap between versions and text sections and drag them around and everything. And well, this is a very poor synopsis of what I tried to tell ChatGPT, but even that was not enough. Um, so one thing that I wanted it to do is, for example, like when I write, "Hello, how's it going?" And then I can mark this and just write something else. Um, Pretty well, right? And now I can swap between them. Um, One thing I asked it to do, like, okay, now I have those. eh, those two versions. What if I want to drag this hello how it's going to another section of the text? That doesn't quite work. I tried to ask it like, hey, can you figure out a way to do this, like in a UI that is interactive and anything? But I don't see any trace. Like it was ignored. Another thing is that technically I would want this to be like infinite, so I can stack an infinite amount of texts in that section. So like, um, and how are you once again? And now I think it's broken. Yeah, now it's these two versions. So not all three in that same text section are the same. Um, yeah, I just think it's like quite convenient if you're making, if you're not quite sure, say you're writing an email and one section in the text, you don't quite know what sounds right. So you can just rewrite it a couple times and click through like, oh, I like this one. No, I like this one. I like this one. And then you have a quick comparison between like, oh, okay, no, this is the best version. Um, but it doesn't quite work. That's the unfortunate thing. But what is convenient, this is just one HTML. This is not a database. This is not anything. So I assume part of this behavior comes from the fact that this is just plain HTML. um, Also, I asked it to use HTML in Canvas, like just for a better UI and other things. But yeah, as you can see, you can also. Oh no, okay, wait. It works now. It works with control. You can zoom in and mouse wheel. That feels okay, but I think controls like in Blender would work so much better for this. Or because I do want to have like 3D notes to be a thing, like where I can visualize text in like three-dimensional space a little bit to see the versions. Or see like here I have like two versions. That is a poor indicator. What if you can just have the text behind it, like a little bit like a shadow behind it? So you kind of get an indication of like, oh, okay, there's a lot of changes I did there. Or maybe just make that the more changes you add to a certain sentence area, like say sentence 5 in your text, and you have 5 versions of that sentence, the more versions you add to that, the more red it will become. Um, like this way you can visualize this way better. Unlike this, there's a ton of things I also like don't like why is there a UI and everything? And I kind of implicitly mentioned it that I want it that way, but it still comes back and does it anyway. I don't know if that's like by the system prompt of ChatGPT or anything else. It's just a little bit unfortunate. Here this isn't even the original one. I asked this like in the chat UI of ChatGPT, but that was even more broken. For example, when I showed you the zoom in and dragging around of the window, right here, that was broken. Like you couldn't move it. Like if you pressed on it, it would maybe move a pixel and not more. I'm not sure if that was like a sensitivity issue or whatever, but it didn't work. But after I asked the Codex app to like fix obvious bugs, whatever it found, I don't know what it found. It was a little bit better, but it also cleaned up some other things. I added like what feature? Yeah, you get what I mean. I tried to like whatever ChatGPT didn't get in the previous version or ignored, I tried like, oh, can you please add this or improve that? And it kind of failed too. But I guess this is like it's just too heavily biased to what has already been created. And well, I just realized like despite vibe coding and everything, like it just still takes a lot of effort to get from what I exactly what I imagine to the real thing of what I imagine. So yeah, it's a long journey. I mean, we'll see. That's mostly things I've been working on for now. Besides like writing stories or other things, I was wondering about. Um, yeah, I should continue to probably also go into linear algebra and other things. Also, I've been lacking on aim training. I have to get back into that. Kovacs is waiting. Oh, because I have not been doing well in Overwatch DPS, which I tried to place as well. But I guess I'm just gonna play Mercy today. Maybe. I'm not sure. You'll see. If you want to join, feel free. But for now, peace out. Have a good day. Bye bye.